A human farmer was taken as a joke, then he
Why would
outsmarted
I
an alien general.
You do it.
The Kfar Empire had conquered 1,000 worlds. They'd faced warrior species with scales like steel, insectoid armies bred for war, even machine intelligences that had fought for centuries. But humanity? They didn't consider us warriors at all. To them, we were laughable, fragile creatures who tamed animals instead of armies, who tilled soil instead of conquering stars. So when a patrol ship stumbled upon a human settlement on the fringes of space, they decided to amuse themselves. They didn't take soldiers. They didn't take scientists. They took a farmer. His name was Daniel Hale. No medals, no degrees. Just a man from the plains of Kansas, more comfortable behind a plow than a weapon. When the Kfar soldiers dragged him onto their ship, he didn't resist. He simply looked around, wide-eyed, like a man who had stepped into a nightmare. The soldiers laughed. This is what humans send to defend their worlds. A dirt worker. To them, Daniel wasn't a prisoner. He was entertainment. General Talker, commander of the sector fleet, was known for his arrogance. He had never lost a campaign, never failed to crush resistance. When he heard his soldiers had captured a human farmer, he was delighted. "Bring him to me," Talker said. "Let us see how the primitives squeal." Daniel was thrown before the towering alien. The general sneered, expecting fear. But the farmer simply wiped dust from his jeans and said, "So, you're the one in charge of this circus?" The soldiers gasped. No one spoke to Talker like that. The general chuckled. "Tell me, dirt worker, what weapons do your people wield against us?" "Pitchforks. Shovels." Daniel shrugged. "Sometimes. They work just fine." The court roared with laughter. To them, he was a joke. To Daniel, it was Tuesday. Talker decided to make sport of him. He had Daniel thrown into the alien barracks, surrounded by guards, and told he would be paraded the next day as an example of human weakness. Daniel didn't panic. Instead, he started watching. Listening. He noticed the guards' patterns. How their boots clicked on the metal floor. Where the light flickered near a vent. How the air smelled faintly of coolant in one corridor but not another. It wasn't soldiers' training. It was a farmer's eye, the same eye that noticed when a crop grew strange, or when the wind shifted before a storm. That night, Daniel asked for food. The guards threw him a slab of nutrient paste. He looked at it, grinned, and pretended to choke. Panicked, the guards rushed in. In the confusion, Daniel slipped the metal tray beneath his shirt. A farmer knows the value of scraps. Later, he bent the tray into jagged edges. With those, he pried loose a vent cover. By dawn, he was crawling through the ship's ducts. The joke was on the guards now. Talker was furious when he learned his pet human had vanished. Search teams scoured the ship. But Daniel wasn't running. He was studying. He mapped the corridors by sound. He tested doors with bits of wire he pulled from machinery. He even learned the timing of the ship's power cycles by watching when the lights dimmed slightly. By the third day, the farmer knew the vessel better than half the crew. When Talker finally caught him again, Daniel was sitting calmly in the mess hall, eating alien rations he had cooked into something resembling stew. The soldiers stared in disbelief. Daniel smiled. "You boys ever try seasoning this stuff? Little salt goes a long way." Talker decided enough was enough. He would end the farce by pitting the farmer against him personally, in a contest of strategy. A war game. They placed Daniel in a simulation chamber, projecting holographic battlefields. The general commanded a virtual army of war machines. Daniel was given nothing but a handful of peasants with tools. The court roared with laughter again. But Daniel didn't laugh. He thought. And then, he began to farm. Daniel had his peasants dig trenches. Not straight lines, crooked, unpredictable, confusing. He planted decoys, lures, and even pits disguised as irrigation ditches. The general advanced confidently, his machines stomping forward. Then the trap sprang. War machines toppled into hidden pits. Supply lines bogged down in fake mud. Drones tangled in nets woven from vines. Every loss multiplied. Talker bellowed in rage, throwing more troops into the simulation. Daniel only smirked. Never seen locusts take a field. You don't fight them head-on. You make the field fight for you. Within an hour, the mighty general's army was in ruins, beaten by a farmer's tricks. Talker stormed into the chamber, trembling with fury. You cheated, he roared. Daniel shook his head. Nope. I just did what I always do, work with what the land gives me. You see war. I see crops, weather, and pests. Same thing, really. The soldiers who once mocked him now whispered uneasily. A farmer had outsmarted their invincible commander. That night, Daniel struck. Using the knowledge he'd gathered, he sabotaged the ship's engines with nothing but stolen tools and scraps. Fire suppression systems flooded compartments, alarms blared, and the crew scattered. Amid the chaos, Daniel led a group of captured humans, slaves the Kvar had forgotten, through the vents and out in stolen shuttles. By the time the general regained control, his prize prisoner was gone, his ship crippled, and his reputation in tatters. Word spread quickly. Across conquered worlds, whispers grew. A human farmer escaped the great General Talker. He defeated him in his own war games. He made the general look like a fool. The Kvar tried to suppress the story, but it spread like wildfire. To oppressed people across the galaxy, it was hope. To the Empire, it was humiliation. And to humanity, it was proof. Proof that even the simplest among us, someone with calloused hands and soil under his nails, could stand against giants. Daniel Hale never called himself a hero. When he finally returned to Earth, he went back to his farm, planting seeds in the spring as though nothing had happened. But the galaxy remembered. Because in the end, it wasn't soldiers or scientists who first outsmarted the Empire. It was a farmer. And that was the greatest joke of all.